Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Around South Jersey. I am Mayor Lisa Orndorf, and I have a wonderful co-host, Senator Nick Asselta, joining me this evening.
Thank you for allowing me to be here.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining. We are at the Finish Line Pub at the New Jersey Motorsports Park in Millville, and I just want to let everybody know what the specials are for this evening. A lot of people didn't realize that this was, open to the public. And they were like, I don't know, can I go there?
Absolutely.
Absolutely
Great
can.
restaurant
So
here.
It's a great restaurant, lots of great opportunities. I know they've got go-karts here, they have axe throwing, they have dinners, and
And they race cars.
And they race cars. It's pretty awesome.
Right.
Have you ever been in a race car?
Yes.
Which race
Been
car?
in many NASCAR races.
Been in, but have you
This
raced?
facility is the culmination of a lot of hard work by a lot of people in this county to get this thing here.
Oh,
we
yeah.
were originally going to get a NASCAR track here.
I heard.
So we traveled. Mayor Quinn at the time, Freeholder Director Doug Fisher, the Secretary of Commerce. We went to Texas. We went to Carolina. We went and visited a lot of tracks around the country to find out the impact of the local community. And we came back with all favorable. And the history, it's a long history of how we developed and to at least get this particular facility, which is not NASCAR, but it's a secondary racetrack that obviously has worked well here. But we did have a unique opportunity to get the big track. And what really killed it was Governor Whitman was not as supportive as she should have been. And NASCAR is run by a family called the France family. They created NASCAR in general, and they choose the weekends and who races where at which track. So as you know, in America, you only have a limited amount of good weekends to race, considering the winter.
Yeah.
So every weekend was taken around the country. And in our region, Dover and Pocono had 2 races a year. So we needed to capture 1 race from Pocono, 1 race from Dover, and put it here in Millville to build a track that would be financially viable. And NASCAR would not agree to the track owner. This major track owner, Bruton Smith, who were his guests in Texas, had ownership of 9 tracks in America. And he had to petition NASCAR to get those 2 dates moved to us before he would build a track here. And NASCAR refused because those 2 tracks are owned by families that have been involved in NASCAR a long time, and that would just kill those tracks. But quite frankly, Dover is a mess. Not really a nice facility anymore, and Pocono is in the middle of nowhere. We had the location here for the Northeast.
Yeah, it's actually really nice because you've got the shore. There's a lot around you. You've got AC.
We could pull from a tremendous region, from D.C., from Boston, New York.
Yeah,
This was a tremendous opportunity and location to have a NASCAR track here. And we had a spot picked out on Route 49 between Richmond and Millville. There's an old flower farm out there with about 1,500 acres. And so we didn't finalize that deal because of a lot of other reasons. And
I was waving to neighbors outside the window there.
we ended up
Actually went to high school, or actually elementary school with that gentleman's son. He recognized me when I was here last time.
So that's a little history of the track here and the setup here.
Yeah, it's really nice. I grew up here, and I moved away, and this kind of was established when I was not home and came home, and now that all of the different opportunities here are really, really nice.
And believe it or not, Donald Trump killed our opportunity here also, because I had to write letters and try to petition him because he was a very large casino owner in Atlantic City, and he had some say with Christie Whitman, the governor, and he flat out wrote me a letter back, no way I'll support a track in South Jersey, because he was afraid it was going to take away from his properties in Atlantic City.
You would think that would actually bring business to his properties.
He wasn't convinced of that.
I mean, you're 45 minutes, and if you're a racer, you probably get there in about 25.
They have to stay somewhere, all these people that come here from all over the country.
They absolutely do.
So he played a role in defeating this project here also.
Well, that's a shame. I think that, he could have opened a hotel here, too. I mean, you could have had a Trump resort right here in Millville. I actually will say that I'm surprised that we don't have like a facility like that, an extended stay or a hotel or something along those lines in this area, because we do have so much traffic on the weekends that come in from all over. I see a lot of New York plates that come down with their trailers and their racing. So it is a really nice facility. But you didn't answer my question. Have you actually ever raced in a race car?
At Texas.
In Texas. And what race car
I went
were you
there.
in?
What was his name? Mark Martin's car. I forget the number of the car.
Like a NASCAR car?
Yeah, this was back in 1997 or 98 at Texas Motorsports Park.
Awesome.
How old were you then?
Maybe 10.
All right.
We won't say young.
Yeah, we got there 3 days early, so we got to do a lot of things.
That's really cool.
Yeah, Saturday is the big day on the track where everybody gets to be in the oval and do all those kind of things.
That's a great
Sunday's
experience.
the race. Sunday you're up in your.
What was the fastest you ever were?
I think it was only 150, 160.
That's pretty dangerous.
They were going 210, 220 at the time.
Yeah, but if you've never done it before, you feel pretty risky and feel kind of living on the dangerous side there. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah. I was out in Vegas a number of years ago, and they have an experience that they don't think they do it anymore, where you can drive the exotic cars, Ferrari, Lamborghini. They had some Audis out there and a couple Porsches. And we had the opportunity to actually drive on the road. Well, I wanted to drive the Ferrari. She was the redhead. I wanted to drive her. She was really, really nice. And there was a Mercedes SLR, and that was just a little too much for me. So I had my ex that I was with.
There's no comparison to an Italian sports car.
It was dangerous, but I know there's an experience here at the Motorsports Park. Mm-hmm. So if anybody ever wants to be able to drive one of those exotic cars, they have a great experience. They come out, they teach you just how to handle the car. They have you can get in the lead car. They show you the track. And then you get in the actual car. You drive the actual car itself, which is a little intimidating. It's a very expensive car, and you're allowed to, gun it. So it's a really great experience. They do a great job. It is just a lot of fun. So if anybody here wants to come out, I think they're coming back in the spring to this facility here, and it's so much fun to do.
This has grown in nicely here with the community. It took some time to develop, as most businesses do, but they've matured now and really have come a long way. Yeah, I know some people, weren't for it, but I've lived a mile away from the airport my whole life, and I personally love the sound of the jet engines. You weren't the complainer then back in the day. No, I wasn't. I love the sound of the jets. They would test the jet engines. That was one of my favorite things. Yeah, I kind of miss it. We have it happen once in a while, but I don't mind the sound of the race cars. Or I think we hear more of the motorcycles than the race cars. Higher pitch. Yeah, but I enjoy it. I do miss our yearly air shows, so we'll have one next year, which will be really nice. But we do have, the Motorsports Park is getting more involved with our community, and I just wanted to announce a couple of things. We do have our monthly chamber events here on the facility. Something that the Motorsports Park did, they did a 5K this year for Millville. They donated all of the funds to PAL, the Police Athletic League in Millville, and something that they are continuing to do to donate to them. Millville Motorsports Park is hosting their annual Christmas party here, and it is invite only through the guest. However, they have asked every guest to donate $5 to attend this event. So everybody attending is going to be donating $5, and that money will be going to the New Jersey Police Athletic League. And I think that's really, really great to get involved in the community, and a great way to give back. I know that organization here in the city is just huge, and it's growing, and I first want to thank just everybody that's involved in that. The people that are involved in the city, the police department, the fire, EMS, everybody that's out there for those events. They really do a great job, and I know the kids just have a blast. I got a message, are they going to open the fire hydrants this year for the summer? And they did, and the kids just have a great time, and it's really nice to see the community come together. Before we take a break here, because I know we were kind of rambling on there, but I wanted to go over some of the weekend specials. They have a creamy chicken and rice soup, onion savory smothered steak. They have a seafood trio and a chicken broccoli fettuccine alfredo. What else do we have going on here?
Oh, and they do want to let us, just let everybody know, they do celebrate parties. So if you're looking for a lunch, dinner, or a cocktail reception, they do offer that here for company parties, events, anything like that, from 25 people to 500, which I think is great to have something local and keep it here in the county.
Absolutely.
So I guess we can go to a quick break here. I don't even, what do we think? Where are we at on time? What's the time on this? We have 15, I don't know. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back here shortly.
At Mintz Insurance, we're proud to have been serving our customers for nearly 80 years, offering 30 different insurance products for your auto, home, and business. And to help ensure that you're getting the best rates possible, we give you up to 3 quotes for every policy, so you can choose what's right for you. At Mintz, we're part of the community, local representatives, supporting events, and proud of it. It's part of who we are. Mintz Insurance. Call today and find out how we can help you save on insurance, or visit us at mintzinsurance.com.
Anybody falling? Anybody feel they're falling?
Let's hear more from the style van.
More than a century ago, General Tire was born, right here in America. Since then, we've made a name for ourselves by making tires you can depend on. Tires built to handle any road this country can throw at them, and relied on by every kind of driver. So you know that no matter where life takes you, with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
In South Jersey, we do things our own way. We say things out loud, face things head on, and never back down. And that's how we fight cancer. With the most advanced diagnostics, leading-edge technology, and a team of doctors who know how to treat your cancer. And most importantly, we do it right here at the Frank and Edith Scarpa Cancer Center, Vineland, and the Leading Edge Cancer Center, Mullica Hill.
Changing colors. Life's colors change daily for each of us. We go from happy to sad, anxious to peaceful. There's events we endure and ones we enjoy. The colors of life are always changing, but there's one that's the same yesterday, today, and forever. Come, let us introduce you to him, New Life Church, the church of many colors.
Good evening, everybody. We are back with Around South Jersey and co-host tonight, Nick Asselta. Hope everybody's having a great evening. It's a nice, beautiful fall evening outside.
It really is.
We're at the New Jersey Motorsports Park, and I just saw a couple head outside. They put the lights on outside, and they're having a lovely evening out there. So I just wanted to go over a few things that have happened recently and are going to be happening around Millville. I actually had the honor of attending the Bridgeton Chamber of Commerce 36th Annual Business and Community Heroes Award event last night. We were at the Grove, the Centerton Grove, and I want to just thank or congratulate Jim Quinn on his Business Hero Award. It was really great to see Jim up there and his award. But I definitely really want to make sure I congratulate Bruce and Debbie Riley of Ultra Clean Technologies. I recently started working for them a few months ago, and we were told that they were receiving the Francis H. Sharp Senior Lifetime Achievement Award. So it's really great accomplishment for them. I believe they were the first couple to actually receive that award, and they just are an amazing couple. They do an amazing, we have an amazing business established in Bridgeton in Cumberland County. They have done a lot around the community. They were telling us last night that they had done a few bridge projects over at the park in Bridgeton. Now they're actually going to be doing a whole step project. There's like a really steep like really steep walkway, and people tend to fall down or tumble down, which is a little dangerous. And so they're actually going to be building some steps with the local community and doing that.
Well, the Riley family's just in the Bridgeton area has been fabulous for the area. Huge family, big contributors to the community. I know Bruce personally. He sat on the Cumberland County Board of Trustees with me. But the Riley family and Jim Quinn I've known for 50 years.
50
years. He was covering sports when I was playing basketball and baseball at Cumberland County College. So we go back a long way. And Jim has just been another community leader, a great mayor when he was mayor, a county official. Whatever he decided to do, he always did it well. So I'm glad he got an award.
Yeah,
well deserved.
It's well deserved. Speaking of sports, he said if he didn't have his voice, he wouldn't have a job, right? He loves.
He has a radio voice.
He has a radio voice, and he loves it. Announcing the sports. And
yes.
Speaking of that, so tomorrow is Friday, and there is a home football game at 6:00 at Wheaton Field. Millville has their semifinal playoff game, which is crazy because they went all the way last year. So I believe we said their record was 7-2. Quote me if I'm wrong. Somebody tell me if I'm wrong.
7-2 or
8-2. 8-2.
Yeah.
Nick, you said they're top 10 in
they're
South
top
Jersey.
10 in South Jersey, absolutely.
That's really awesome. I mean, it's great to see. But tomorrow night, Quinn Broadcasting will be live with that game. It's a 6 p.m. game at Wheaton Field. So come out. I believe you have to purchase tickets online prior to coming. And that's pretty easy to do. Just go on to the Board of Ed website and grab your tickets. I always go to the game because my daughter's in marching band, so I get to see their Deja Vu performance every halftime, and they're doing really, really well as well. The guard was just, they placed, I think they had best guard. I don't remember what it was. I'm going to forget what it was, but I know they got best guard at something.
As long as they're the best,
they're the best.
Doesn't matter what the
they're
title
the best
is.
in my eyes.
There
I mean,
you go.
come on.
But they're, you know what? They're participating in things, and that's important.
They love it, and they're under the direction of Rob DeSantis. And it's so funny. I was telling somebody the story that Mr. D, as I call him, it's hard to call him Rob because he was my band director my junior into my senior year. And so he was obviously really, really young coming out of college and starting at Millville. And we weren't sure if we liked him at first. He was like, oh, he's going to change things. But I will say in the past so many years it's been that I've graduated, Mr. D, or D that they call him now, has done such an amazing job with the marching band and color guard. And the kids have so much fun. They get involved in so much more competitions, community events, and they just have a great time. They keep them busy, and like you said, it's great to see them involved. They just work so hard. They're so dedicated, and those kids just love it. And it's great to see. I know Millville loves their sports, but we're also an arts town as well. So
Millville's a tremendous sports community. Back to the Tony Cerise days.
I saw him last night.
Tremendous coach. I mean, I went to Vineland High. We played Millville every year in every sport. So we always had a great deal of respect for Millville, and it was always a tremendous series, whatever we played them in basketball, football, baseball. I was fortunate enough to play a role with Jim Quinn in building the sports building there over by the football field there back, I guess it was the late 90s, early 2000s, the Hall of Fame there. And that was a tremendous idea to do.
Oh, you're talking about the Thunderbolt Club?
Thunderbolt
Yeah,
Club.
that's a great facility that we have.
It was an idea hatched by former athletes and former coaches, and it gives the current players at every level on every team at Millville High a sense of purpose, a sense of family. They bring them there, they eat. I just wish Vineland would ever have gotten to the point to do something similar, but they never did.
Well, we're going to beat Vineland this year at the Thanksgiving Day game.
It's always a great.
I'm calling it now.
You never can predict that game.
That's really honestly true. I think there's Millville's going to great win, and then it completely changes. But I love that game. Last year was 150th. Was it 150? It was 150th. Yeah, there was a 1 and a 5 and 0 on the field. We sat in I had to think about it for a second. But being alumni from the marching band, we were on the field as they were playing the national anthem before the start of the Turkey Day game last year against Millville Vineland game. And it was a very surreal moment for me because I'm standing there 150 years of this game, and I was standing there as an elected official at that point, or voted at that, and actually sworn in. But it was a very surreal moment for me that I will never forget that moment, that I was standing there as their future mayor after 150 years. So, and being able to go to that game this year as the mayor and just celebrating, in the city of Vineland with Mayor Finucci.
Can you do the coin toss?
I don't know who does the coin toss.
So the mayor could.
I know, but that's in Vineland, so Anthony's probably,
it's in
Mayor
Vineland.
Finucci's probably going to do that.
Anthony would do that. I forgot it's in Vineland this year, right?
Yeah, it's in Vineland. Maybe next year, we'll see. But talking about that, so we have the Turkey Day game, and then after that we have Christmas. So soon, which is the Christmas Day parade. And I had Gary Galloway with me last time, and he's like, let's talk about Christmas. I said, no Christmas, it's not even Halloween, so we're past Halloween, so we have to talk about Christmas. But the Christmas theme this year is your favorite Christmas story. What's your favorite Christmas story?
Probably
maybe a movie or,
the Christmas Story.
The Christmas Story, classic Christmas story. I love the Santa Claus with Tim Allen.
Okay.
I don't know why. I just love it. My kids love it. We watch it all the time. It's a classic for me growing up.
Watch it every year, probably.
Multiple times. My daughter's ready to put Christmas. She had her coming home yesterday. She didn't wear it to school, but coming home yesterday, she's standing outside in her ugly Christmas sweater. I was like, what are you doing?
A little too early.
Oh, she's ready. She's ready. But yeah, so we have the Christmas theme, and then I was asked to be the Grand Marshal of the parade, which is an honor again.
Very nice.
It's really cool. So I'm having myself and Commissioner Romanek, we have to come up with a really good theme to head off the parade. It'll be fun.
Sure, we'll come up with something good.
Yeah.
What else we got on the agenda tonight?
So speaking of upcoming events, what else do we have? So this Saturday, before we talk about other things, this Saturday is a very, very busy day. Nick, I have to say that there are so many people willing to give of their time and donate of their services, right? And I feel like people are just starting to come out of the woodworks, and I cannot thank each and every one of those people enough. So this weekend, we have the Stevenson family. Joy and Nathan are their children. They're little entrepreneurs of themselves. I think Joy's in maybe 3rd grade. They're young, and they're both over at Rick Avenue. Joy sells lemonade. She has a book. She's an author. It's very amazing. And then her brother has a hot dog business, Nathan's Hot Dogs. So they decided, the Stevenson family as a whole decided to adopt a park, and they adopted Union Lake Park. And they've been out there weekend after weekend, painting, replanting things, and just making it beautiful for everybody to come out and play and have a nice, safe, clean place. And there's been companies that have just donated their time and their services to parks around the city and giving. And it's just amazing to see that and warms my heart. So that is this weekend from 9 to 3. There's going to be games, there's going to be music, there's going to be, I think she's got pumpkins for everybody, and she's gone all out. So it's really, really great to see that. Next, we have at Buck Park from 10 to 2, a little bit of a sad story, but this family is in my prayers. And little girl Layla, who I actually had went to school with her father, and the grandmoms had come to a commission meeting and asked us to approve this walk at Buck Park for a fundraiser for their granddaughter who is diagnosed with cancer. I think she was diagnosed before she turned 1, and very, very sad. I know a couple of young kids had gone through cancer and battled that. So they are doing a walk this Saturday, 10 o'clock at Buck Park. We hope everybody can come out, support the family, support Layla, and just keep her and the family in your thoughts and prayers. It's not an easy thing to go through. There's so much as far as travel, medical bills, and just everything that goes into that. I have only experienced so much with Bridget and her heart condition and going through surgery, and that was such a short period of time for me. But this is so much different. There's a daily, treatments and the medical expenses, and being out of it. It really puts a hardship on the family, and it's such a shame. So I know your family is in my thoughts and prayers, and Layla, I just send out hugs and kisses to her. But I hope everybody can stop out for that event as well. And then lastly, on Saturday, we also have the Veterans event here at the airport, at the Air and Army Museum. So if anybody wants to stop out for that as well, that is this weekend. So stop out for that. But that is everything that's going on locally. We're going to take another quick break, get some commercials in, and then we'll come back with some more around South Jersey.
Changing colors. Life's colors change daily for each of us. We go from happy to sad, anxious to peaceful. There's events we endure and ones we enjoy. The colors of life are always changing, but there's one that's the same yesterday, today, and forever. Come, let us introduce you to him, New Life Church, the church of many colors.
Have you ever wanted to make the big money? Have you ever wanted to drive the big construction equipment? Here's your chance to go to school, learn the big machines, and start a new career. MCITC is a heavy equipment operator training school that offers you the opportunity to learn to use the big machines and start earning the big benefits. Don't hesitate. Call today 856-825-6655. That's 856-825-6655. Or visit our website at mcitcnj.com.
At Mintz Insurance, we're proud to have been serving our customers for nearly 80 years, offering 30 different insurance products for your auto, home, and business. And to help ensure that you're getting the best rates possible, we give you up to 3 quotes for every policy, so you can choose what's right for you. At Mintz, we're part of the community, local representatives, supporting events, and proud of it. It's part of who we are. Mintz Insurance. Call today and find out how we can help you save on insurance, or visit us at mintzinsurance.com.
Anybody falling? Anybody feel they're falling?
Let's hear more from the Style Van.
More than a century ago, General Tire was born, right here in America. Since then, we've made a name for ourselves by making tires you can depend on. Tires built to handle any road this country can throw at them, and relied on by every kind of driver. So you know that no matter where life takes you, with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
Good evening, everybody. We are back with Around South Jersey, Mayor Orndorf and Nick Asselta. So we have a really busy weekend and a really busy couple weeks coming up. Next week is?
Well, Election Day.
Election Day.
Probably one of the most important days of the whole year for people like me.
Absolutely.
Like my family.
I think it's important for everybody.
It is. Certain families take it a little more seriously. Certain families are involved or not involved, but I think it's time for America to all get involved because there's a lot at stake on every level this year.
Yes.
We watch what's happening worldwide. When I was a young boy in grammar school, we used to have to do nuclear drills and get under our seats and protect our heads. And that seems to be coming back, that threat again that was there in the 1950s and 60s. So that alone should get many people inspired to get out and start choosing their leaders a little better. Right now, diplomacy around the world, in America right now, around the world, is being challenged. I think all of us, doesn't matter what political party you are, realize that there's a challenge out there, and we need to meet that challenge very aggressively.
Absolutely. You know, we were speaking earlier, and I cannot believe it's been 10 months since I've been in office. This time last year.
I remember election night. I remember when you were elected.
I was in shock. It was in shock.
I don't think people were shocked that you won, but I think people were a little bit taken back that you were the top vote getter.
Yes.
For someone that new.
New, no name recognition.
Exactly.
Excuse me. It's going to happen.
So sometimes people vote for people with fresh ideas and a fresh face, and obviously you took advantage of that last year, and I think this year we're going to see a little more of that also, because people are searching for new leadership, leadership that can inspire them. And your message last year was inspiring to people, especially in your age bracket, in the city of Millville, and it resonated. That's why people came out and voted strongly for you and other people. So it's going to be, I think, the same thing this year, Lisa. You're going to see a similar type of reaction from the voters out there.
I hope so. I think it's really great to hear that so many people are getting involved and they want to voice their opinions, and your opinions matter. You know, everybody's allowed to have an opinion. That's why we're allowed to, we can vote, and you can vote how you want. I was told the other day that one of my high school friends never ever voted and never waited in line for a thing in her life. She told her dad she was not leaving until she voted for me last year. And that means a lot. You know, I have no experience as far as municipal government. You know, I wanted to get involved. You know, this is my community. I'm raising my children here. And it's not the same as it was growing up. And I can understand that it's never going to be that again. We can work to make it better. But unfortunately, just society is changing. We can see that across the country. We can see it around the world. And I've learned so much in the last 10 months. And again, I want to say that I appreciate everybody's support and getting behind me, and I appreciate when you support somebody new that wants to get involved, because it is not an easy thing to put your name on the ballot and run for an election and then be elected and then continue to do that. It is a challenge every day.
Begin to govern after you're elected. That's the hardest part.
That is the hardest part. So I mean, for everybody who has their name on the ballot this year, thank you for just doing that. That says a lot right there. And then for those who become elected, you know, we went through a huge red wave last year, and I think many people think that that's going to continue, and I hope it continues south, and I hope it goes north as well. But I thank all of those people that are elected, and I hope that they just put in all of the hard work that they said they're going to, and really stick to it. Because there's days that I'm like, oh boy, what did I step into? But then I get a comment like that I got yesterday, is that she voted, she was not getting out of line.
All it takes is one person that you motivated along the way that keeps you going, keeps you motivated.
It really does. You know, it really
takes a phone call, a text. You see somebody in Wawa, yep, and they say, thank you for helping me 6-7 years ago. And you walk away and get in your car and say, you know, it really was worth it.
You know,
that's what's going to happen to you.
I hope that happens. You know, what really warms my heart, and I said this when I got elected, you know, Jim Quinn was mayor when I was growing up, and he was everywhere, right? I want to make sure that I'm in front of the public. I want them to know that I'm involved, and I try to get to all of, especially the events with the kids. I think it's important, and the kids are like, "Oh my gosh, you're the mayor! Like, that's so cool!" And you know, I don't think it's a big deal some days, you know, but when I'm standing in front of those kids and they just light up and they're like, "Oh my gosh," you know, I hope I'm inspiring the younger generation to say, wow, I could be the mayor someday, or I can get involved and I can make a difference. You might not be just in your small town municipal government. You could say, I want to be a doctor, and I want to be a lawyer, or I want to do this and I want to do that, and maybe I have inspired that younger generation to do that, because that's what makes me feel good. And seeing my kids, like my kids have seen me struggle, get upset, be hurt, but they see that I'm determined to keep pushing, and those are really great characteristics for them to see and be able to use in their life. Not everybody's going to like me. I've been told that. I understand. I think I'm a likable person, but my opinions.
You can't have 100% people liking you, because there's so many different reasons why they don't need to like you.
And that's
or whatever your views on issues, or your political affiliation, your religion. There's so many different factors in this.
And I respect
and
everybody.
As long as you're doing the right thing and tackling the issues forthright, and trying to solve problems in the right way, ethically, you can't look back and say, I'm not doing the right thing. I should have never done this. You're doing the right thing.
Yeah, it's been a ride, and I'm going on that ride. So I do want to talk. So we have election night next week, Tuesday, November 8th, and we want to make sure that everybody that wants to stay in tune and up to date, that there is going to be coverage on Channel 22 and Facebook and YouTube. And Jim did tell me who was going to be on here, so let me just double check this. He said that Bob Campbell, Township Committeeman from Down Township, is going to be his co-host.
I used to be the co-host.
How'd you lose that?
Because I want to be at election night for people that I support. I can't do both. The last time I was a co-host was in 2016 when Donald Trump became president. That was a big surprise that night. Big surprise. Yeah. So, as you know, I've been involved in a campaign in the last few years helping Chairman Testa, the great job he's been doing to try to turn the county around, working on the right issues. So this year we think it's going to be another good night, and I want to be there to celebrate with the people that, like you said, put their name on the ballot and worked hard.
Absolutely. And
as a matter of fact, the next night we're going to do a recap, Jim and I.
Oh, nice.
So that's even better, because sometimes that night before we don't have the results.
I know that feeling. So I think I waited like a week and a half until I finally knew the results.
So Wednesday night it might be a little more clearer for us.
Yeah.
We're going to do the show, I think, at 6 o'clock Wednesday night. So
great.
So we'll have even more information.
That's really great. So. It's gonna be great. I hope everybody gets out and votes. Support your people. Again, thank you for those putting their name on the ballot.
And there are some people on the ballot that deserve it.
Absolutely. I mean, they've worked so hard of them. I mean, all of them. They've,
and I think, not putting any kind of partisan hat on, I think that our county is ready for new leadership. I've been obviously a fifth generation Cumberland County resident. I've kind of been around a long time. I was born in 1951. My parents were here in the late 1800s, my grandparents. So we've seen a lot of changes, a lot of good things and a lot of bad things. So the next tranche of leaders are beginning to take their spot, like you.
Well, our commission was a
I had my chance, and I did what I could to advance the ball. It's time now for the next generation of leadership.
Agree.
And I think there's some really good people on the ballot this year that can take our county to the next level and solve some of the real important problems that are in front of us.
I think that's a great way to put it. I think that we need a kind of a clean start, some fresh ideas. Let's see what everybody else has to say. Give them a chance.
Yeah, I mean,
give them a chance.
It's good when you have a fresh start. Sometimes, I've been involved in politics a long time. I've seen it all, and sometimes one party gets control for a real long time, and they get stagnant. Yeah. Both parties. I've seen it happen in both political parties at every level, from the national, state, and local governments. So sometimes a switch over, a pivot, and reshuffle the deck gets new and fresh ideas in there and a new direction. And that can only be good and positive. And guess what? The voters will then determine if it was the right move or not. They have another chance the next year to vote again. That's the beauty of our democracy, or our republic.
Yeah. And I think that that's great that the younger generations are getting involved. You know, myself, Ben Romanek, are much younger than some people that are running and that are on my current commission. Looking at the county, you've got younger, candidates, and I love to see that there's still females getting involved. Because when people are like, "You're the mayor," I'm like, "So what's wrong with a female mayor? It took long enough. That we should have had a female mayor a long time ago." And I hope that the younger generation, myself and younger, say, you know what, I'd like to get involved. Reach out to our commission, say, how can I start to get involved and run for a commission in the next 3 years? I would love to have people step up and be there for us and say, hey, look, I'm going to run with you next time. It'd be really great. In Millville, we have, I want to make sure I announce this tonight and just remind everybody that we have a referendum on the ballot this year, and it's the people's choice. The last commission said, not so many nice things to some people on our zoning board and planning board, and that's not the way to do it. Well, get rid of you, and if you don't like it, well, so be it. That's not the way to do things. There is a right way and a wrong way to do things, and so our commission has placed it on the ballot that we are looking to dissolve the zoning board into our planning board. So then we are a board of adjustments. It will be a 7-9 board. And I think some of the questions were like, okay, so when there's a D, like if there's a D variance that comes across the board, myself as the elected official, because the planning board's the mayor's board, and then I appoint an elected official. So like Commissioner Romanek, myself and Commissioner Romanek would step away from that D variance. We're not allowed to vote on that. But it's not uncommon. There's many counties within New Jersey that have actually done this and have been successful at it. And it has worked really, really well.
Mayor, let's talk a little bit about those boards all across the state of New Jersey, and why it's getting more and more difficult to find people to volunteer for these boards. Because quite simply, a few years back, if you got appointed to the planning or the zoning board, there was a small compensation involved to help, make it important to you. I've seen meetings that people volunteer for 4 and 5 hours long in the evening. They get home at 11 to 12 o'clock at night, and they get zero compensation. So back, I guess in 2009, 2010, Governor Christie in his wisdom thought all those benefits should be taken away from all those boards at all the local levels. It's going to save a tremendous amount of money, which, by the way, it didn't. All it did was put more pressure on local leadership to find volunteers that are, number one, interested, number two, qualified to do those jobs.
Right. Because some of those are not making the best qualified, they're not making the best decisions. And for like our municipality, our zoning board has made decisions that could have affected the whole city in a negative way.
Right. So by defunding all these planning and zoning boards, and we talk about defunding, it's a minimal amount of money these people got, but it paid for gas to go to the meetings. It paid for maybe to go to dinner after with your colleagues. That's it. But I think that was a very bad decision made at the state level that now we're feeling the ripple effect of trying to recruit people to get to do these jobs.
I mean, it's hard enough to get people to put their name on the ballot to run as a commission or anything like that. And then it's even your school board, your school board members. You have now you're planning your zoning board to get qualified candidates. It's very hard. And yes, it is. There are some late nights involved, absolutely. And
but remember, when school board's one thing. I served on the school board. We made decisions, but the administration really ran the agenda. I mean, the superintendent and his staff and people recommended everything to the school board members, either an up or down, yes or no. But on planning and zoning board issues that take technical expertise that can affect someone's livelihood or ratables in your city. So many different variables there. You need qualified people that want to pay attention and want to be there for 4 or 5 hours to listen to these cases and make legitimate, rulings on this stuff that will affect the community. So that little bit of compensation that the governor says is going to save the towns a tremendous amount of money,
it's
never really
caused a lot
caused
of,
more, probably cost more money in the end.
It costs more,
absolutely. Because of some of the decisions that were made.
There's appeals made that go,
Correct.
got lawyers that go involved on both sides. Myself and Commissioner Hewitt filed an appeal against the zoning board last year for a D variance, a DNC variance that they wanted to do that affected the whole city.
Yes.
It affected the school board, it affected the city in many ways. There's another situation where we had executive buildings over in a business zone, and they went to put an approved residential apartments. That doesn't, if you're a business and you're running an industrial business or car dealership, or you then have kids playing outside, it doesn't work that way. And it can really affect, the function of the city. If we have our zones laid out and our, the municipal land use, and we have our master plan, we have that for a reason. And I know things have to be updated throughout, years and things get changed. However, taking an industrial zone and making it a residential zone in certain areas does not benefit.
It's a big decision.
It's a big decision. And again, it comes down to who's volunteering, are they qualified,
to understand
it, and how it can affect the city as a whole. So again, this is something that we encourage, everybody, again, you have a right to your opinion, but we encourage people to vote yes for this. We want to make sure that our city is understanding where we're putting our businesses and how we can grow it effectively moving forward. And again, it's not an uncommon thing. There's multiple townships within Jersey that actually do this, and it works very, very well. I'm going to be voting yes for this, and I hope everybody else does. And if there's anybody in the meantime that has questions about it, please reach out to us. We're happy to, answer any of those questions, or, to help clarify that. Our city solicitor, can really break it down, and but it would be a good thing for the town. So election is next Tuesday. There is early voting. Everybody can get out and vote early if you're unable to. I actually am going to take a part of that. I'm out of the on business. I'm unable to vote on Tuesday. So I won't get to celebrate either way. I'll celebrate from a distance, whoever's winning. But please get out and voice your opinions. We have the right to vote. I did not think voting affected my vote. I would say didn't count. At this city level, county level, your vote counts.
Ocean City wanted to build a new high school for multiple years. And one year it failed by 3 votes, a brand new high school, until we had to do some changing of the law for them to get some state funding to build it. It was never accepted in that town. Otherwise, they still be in an old, dilapidated high school. Now they have a brand new high school because of those 3 votes got reversed eventually, because people got educated. And so that 1 vote, 2 votes, your family's vote can change everything. The complexion of everything in your community. So
your vote
I'm encouraging people to get out there and think about change. Think about, are you better off today than you were last year? That's always the question in politics.
And I don't think anybody can say yes to that.
No, I think change is in the order this time around.
We have our city, we have our Board of Ed within our city, we have our county election, we have a Congress.
Right. Nothing in state this year. That's next year.
So I encourage everybody to get out and vote and see some change, some new faces, fresh ideas.
New ideas, fresh ideas.
So we'll take a quick break before we wrap up, and we'll close out.
In South Jersey, we do things our own way. We say things out loud, face things head on, and never back down. And that's how we fight cancer. With the most advanced diagnostics, leading-edge technology, and a team of doctors who know how to treat your cancer. And most importantly, we do it right here at the Frank and Edith Scarpa Cancer Center, Vineland, and the Leading Edge Cancer Center, Mullica Hill.
Changing colors. Life's colors change daily for each of us. We go from happy to sad, anxious to peaceful. There's events we endure and ones we enjoy. The colors of life are always changing, but there's one that's the same yesterday, today, and forever. Come, let us introduce you to him, New Life Church, the church of many colors.
Have you ever wanted to make the big money? Have you ever wanted to drive the big construction equipment? Here's your chance to go to school, learn the big machines, and start a new career. MCITC is a heavy equipment operator training school that offers you the opportunity to learn to use the big machines and start earning the big benefits. Don't hesitate. Call today 856-825-6655. That's 856-825-6655. Or visit our website at mcitcnj.com.
At Mintz Insurance, we're proud to have been serving our customers for nearly 80 years, offering 30 different insurance products for your auto, home, and business. And to help ensure that you're getting the best rates possible, we give you up to 3 quotes for every policy, so you can choose what's right for you. At Mintz, we're part of the community, local representatives, supporting events, and proud of it. It's part of who we are. Mintz Insurance. Call today and find out how we can help you save on insurance, or visit us at mintzinsurance.com.
Anybody falling? Anybody feel they're falling?
Let's hear more from the Style Factory.
More than a century ago, General Tire was born, right here in America. Since then, we've made a name for ourselves by making tires you can depend on. Tires built to handle any road this country can throw at them, and relied on by every kind of driver. So you know that no matter where life takes you, with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
Well, you know, my brother was killed in Vietnam.
Oh my goodness,
My
we are
oldest
back.
brother.
We're going right back. That was
Here we
that was a serious note. We were chatting on the side here. Welcome back to Around South Jersey, Mayor Orndorf and Nick Asselta. So we just want to wrap up really quick. We have Veterans Day is coming up, and Nick was just telling me something. So if you want to go ahead and tell everybody.
Election Day, Tuesday, then the following week is Veterans Day. Probably one of the most important days of the year for our country. I'm fortunate enough to be the only South Jersey member on the Vietnam Veterans Memorial Board up in North Jersey on the Parkway in Homedale. We are the only Vietnam Memorial and Museum in the entire country. There is the Vietnam Memorial in Washington, which we've all been to, and then New Jersey has their own. The only one in the country. We have a museum, the only museum in the country that has all the artifacts given to us by Vietnam veterans. Now, as you know, Vietnam veterans now, like your uncle, are in their 70s. They're getting older. They have artifacts from the war, letters, equipment, memories. We have a tremendous amount of veterans dropping things off at our museum. Now we don't have the room anymore, so we're embarking on a huge expansion. Tuesday night, I had 4 ex-governors. I had about 100 people up at the museum, all influencers in New Jersey that can help us raise $12 to $14 million to begin to break ground in the spring for this new addition to the current museum. These people want to give their artifacts and be preserved, and we must always remember what happened in that war.
To remember the history in the past.
As you know, my brother was killed in Vietnam when I was a junior in high school. He was an officer in Vietnam. He was controlling the northern forces to protect Saigon there. And he gave his life for his country because he wanted to see those people be free. And that war those people, those guys who came home like your uncle, were not treated fairly. Their families were not treated fairly. So it's time that the state of New Jersey and everyone else involved in Veterans Affairs pony up and let's build this museum to remember that war and these people and these Gold Star families. So we're going to make this happen, and I got guarantees from the governor on down, and ex-governors are all in play here, and they want to see this get done. So
I think it's
thank
important.
you for giving me the time to do that.
Absolutely. I think it's really important. I had the pleasure and privilege and honor of being in a few different events at our with the veterans this year, and they are definitely getting up there in age, and you don't see the younger generation that's coming in and being a part of the American Legion, VFWs, and they're losing funding. They're losing people to run these facilities, and I think it's sad. Like you said, it's important to remember our past and our history, and to let those veterans know that they have the support. Because if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be where we are today. And it might not be happening right now, but it doesn't mean it might not ever happen again. And it definitely means it did not happen. So I hope that even just for here in Millville, I know that they're struggling to keep funding and have people involved. And I love seeing the history. I love seeing what Millville looked like, 50, 60 years ago, and hearing the stories and the airport and the history at the airport.
History,
right? And that is amazing.
They trained pilots there.
Yeah, and I don't think enough of that is put out there. They should talk about that in our school district, the history of the significance of what Millville was. I think it's really important. But I will be at the Veterans event this weekend at the airport. And
what is the time and date of that again?
I don't have it in front of me. It is this Saturday. Okay. I want to say it's in the morning. I think it's like 10 to 2. Okay. It's like the same time I'm literally running around the town this weekend. But I want to thank everybody who serves our country, has served, and then those who have given their lives for our country.
Yeah. Let me just end with, on Memorial Day, this past Memorial Day, we had the governor come up and speak up in Homedale, and we gave scholarships. Our board gave scholarships to students that had a connection to the Vietnam War. And one student, she got a scholarship to Brown University, and we helped her with that. And she was a child of a Vietnam mother and father who came here and fled Vietnam on one of those last helicopters out of there to come here, raise a family, start a business, and have a child now that goes to an Ivy League school.
Wow.
What's better than that?
Yeah.
I'll end with that. It's a great story.
Great story. Thank you, everybody, for joining us this evening for Around South Jersey with myself, Mayor Orndorf, and Nick Asselta. Again, Nick, it was a pleasure. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
And I'm sure we'll see you soon.
Yes.
Have a great evening, everyone.
This has been a QBC television production, in association with our partners and sponsors. QBC broadcasts on Comcast Cable Channel 22, and live streams its programming on Facebook and YouTube. All rights reserved by Quinn Media and QBC, programming that serves the South Jersey market.